Welcome to Thrive Over 40, a podcast where we explore gentle, meaningful changes that can help you feel more grounded, nourished, and supported in everyday life. I'm Amanda Mitchell, Ayurvedic mentor, and I'm here to guide you through simple, real world practices that support your body, mind, and daily rhythm. In each episode, I'll guide you through simple Ayurvedic practices you can actually fit into your real life. We'll explore digestion, hormones, skin health, nervous system support, sleep, daily routines, and the tiny habits that create change and big results over time. Nothing overwhelming, nothing that requires you to overhaul your entire lifestyle, just practical, nurturing shifts that help you come home to yourself. Ayurveda is about gentleness and simplicity. If you're ready to feel more balanced and connected, one simple shift at a time, you're in the right place. Welcome to Thrive Over 40.
Hello, and welcome to today's podcast, episode 11 Small Kitchen Shifts with a Big Impact. How many of us have tried special diets on our own and still didn't accomplish the goals we were helping to tackle? Food doesn't have to be complicated to be healing, starting with kitchen spices. These can be helpful if they're fresh. If you've got spices in your kitchen cabinet that have been there for years, it might be time for a trip to the store, or if you're into it, your garden. Small shifts over big rules. Changing one thing is more healing and effective than following a bunch of rules that create more overwhelm, and we end up not following through with the plan. Ayurveda's view of food is nourishment and communication. These days we eat on the go a lot. So when was the last time you actually sat down and enjoyed your meal? We should be enjoying the food we eat every time we eat. Taking the time to observe taste, texture, and how you feel an hour after you eat can give you some insight into foods that you love that may not be loving you back. If you've ever tried keto or Whole30, these can be helpful at first, but you may find those restrictions difficult to follow long term. Ayurveda is about eating food combinations that work with your constitution and or shift your imbalance. Restrictions will often come with resistance and, in my experience, derailing of the diet that I was supposed to be on. Relationship that we have with food matters. I'm still a work in progress myself. Choose consistency and warmth, which matter more than perfection. So before we focus on what you eat, consider these foundations. Regular meal times. Keeping meals consistent will let your body know when it can expect its next meal and avoid storing fat thinking it's going into starvation mode. Eating without multitasking. Ditch the phone and doom scrolling or responding to people and messages while you're trying to enjoy your meal. Sitting down to eat. If you stand or drive while you eat, you're not noticing how much you're actually taking in. And there's actually a signal from your stomach to your brain that takes about 20 minutes to relay the message that you are full. Chewing and pacing. This is a fight or flight mode, which makes digestion harder to accomplish. And digestive fire thrives on rhythm. Even one mindful meal a day makes a difference. So some small kitchen shifts that support digestion with some practical, doable changes. Number one, favor warm cooked foods most of the time. Number two, add digestive friendly spices such as ginger, cumin, fennel, and coriander, which I will go into detail shortly. Number three, start the day with a warm beverage, ideally water. Number four, reduce ice cold drinks, especially while you're eating. And number five, have simpler meals because that will be easier to digest. Now remember, these are additions, not restrictions. In Ayurveda, spices aren't just something we add for flavor. They're actually used very intentionally to support digestion and help the body process food more comfortably. And the beautiful thing about this is that you don't need complicated supplements or expensive ingredients. Sometimes the most powerful support comes from small, consistent habits in the kitchen. So today I want to introduce you to 4 simple spices that Ayurveda often uses to support digestion: ginger, cumin, fennel, and coriander. These are gentle, everyday supports that can make a big difference over time. Before we dive into the spices themselves, it helps to understand why digestion is such a focus in Ayurveda. In Ayurveda, we talk a lot about something called Agni, which means digestive fire. This is the body's ability to break down food, absorb nutrients, and transform what we eat into energy. When digestion is strong, people tend to notice steady energy, comfortable digestion, and overall balance. When digestion is struggling, though, that's when we may start to see things like bloating, heaviness after meals, sluggish energy, or even skin issues. So many of the Ayurvedic practices you hear about are really just ways to gently support digestion. And spices are one of the easiest places to start. So let's start with ginger. Ginger is probably one of the most respected digestive herbs in Ayurveda. It has this beautiful warming quality and that helps wake up the digestion and get things moving. Many people notice that ginger can help reduce bloating, support circulation, and make meals feel easier to digest. One of the simplest ways to use ginger is to make a warm ginger tea in the morning. Just slice a few pieces of fresh ginger, pour hot water over it, and let it steep for a few minutes. You can also grate fresh ginger into soups, stir fries, or cooked vegetables. Even a small amount can make a difference. And if you're interested and you're on Pinterest, you can follow me at Sattva MW. And I have a bunch of Ayurvedic recipes on a board in Pinterest. Next is cumin. Cumin is wonderful because it helps the body process and absorb food more efficiently. It's especially helpful for reducing gas or digestive discomfort. If you cook with beans, lentils, rice, or vegetables, cumin can really be supportive to add. One simple way to use cumin is to lightly toast the seeds in a little cooking oil, preferably ghee, before adding your other ingredients. This releases the natural oils in the spice and brings out both the flavor and the digestive benefits. Ground cumin sprinkled into soups or roasted vegetables works beautifully too. And in my opinion, cumin doesn't really have a taste unless you're cooking it in something, and then it takes on that flavor of whatever you're cooking. Then we have fennel. Fennel is a little different from ginger and cumin because it has a more cooling and soothing quality. It's often used to calm digestion, especially after meals. You might have seen fennel seeds served in restaurants after eating, and that's because fennel can help reduce bloating and support comfortable digestion. Some people enjoy chewing a small pinch of fennel seeds after meals. Others prefer fennel tea. It's gentle, slightly sweet, and very calming for the stomach. And the fourth spice I want to talk about today is coriander. Coriander is wonderfully balancing. It supports digestion, but in a softer, cooling way. It's often used when someone has digestive irritation or excess heat in the body. So if you have a pitta imbalance, this might be something you want to add. Coriander can be added as a ground spice when cooking soups, stews, or vegetables, or you can steep the seeds in warm water to make a simple tea. And what's really beautiful is that these spices are often combined together. In Ayurveda, there's a very simple digestive tea made with cumin, coriander, and fennel. I call it CCF tea, and there's actually a blend that you can purchase online. I'll put the link to that in the show notes as well. But it's also incredibly easy to make. You can take a teaspoon each of cumin seeds, coriander seeds, and fennel seeds and add them to a pot with water and let them simmer for about 10 minutes. Then you strain it and sip it warm throughout the day. You might find it helpful to put it in a big insulated mug or a thermos, and then that way it stays warm. And like many things in Ayurveda, the magic isn't in doing everything perfectly. It's simply in bringing a little more awareness into the everyday things we're already doing, like cooking a meal or making a cup of tea. Now let's talk about nourishing energy and hormones through food. So our body needs good fats: ghee, coconut oil, olive oil, nuts and seeds. And which ones and how much really depend on what your body type is, your imbalance. If you're interested in learning more about your imbalance or imbalances, I invite you to download your free Radiance Reset Guide, information you can use right away to start making healthy choices. And you can see the podcast notes or description for how to download this. Another thing you can do is make sure you're eating enough protein. Chicken, beef, mung beans, milk, almonds, walnuts. Also cooked vegetables. Cook them over having them raw though. Cooked vegetables are easier to digest and grounding and satiating over raw. Blood sugar balance through regular meals. This will avoid spikes and dips. And food as steady fuel, not stimulation. Boredom is my personal number one trigger for eating when I'm not hungry. Do you know what yours might be? So how do we make this all sustainable? Let go of all or nothing thinking. Just because you didn't do the right choice today doesn't mean you can't start over later in the day or even tomorrow. Build your habits slowly. Picking one new habit to establish is easier to start and more sustainable than a complete overhaul. Listening to feedback from the body, pay attention to what your body might be telling you. And if you're ready for support with personalization, contact me via the link in the description of the podcast, and together we can find your imbalance or imbalances and how I can support you through your journey. Your kitchen doesn't need an overhaul, just a few gentle upgrades. If you're curious about trying this, you might choose just one small shift this week. Maybe it's adding ginger to your morning tea. Maybe it's sprinkling cumin into your cooking. Or maybe it's trying a cup of CCFT and noticing how your body responds. Small things practiced consistently can create meaningful change. So thank you for spending this time with me today and being part of the Thrive Over 40.
Thank you for joining me today on Thrive Over 40. If you're looking to begin your journey, I invite you to download your free Radiance Reset Guide, available on my website, sattvamw.com. It's a great reference to begin your Ayurvedic journey today. Inside, you'll find daily Ayurvedic rituals for hormone balance, natural remedies for menopause symptoms like hot flashes, night sweats, and mood swings, self-care practices for more energy in perimenopause, and simple lifestyle tips for better sleep and a calmer mind. If this episode resonated with you, I invite you to follow the show so you never miss your weekly wellness reset. And feel free to share this with a friend who could use a little extra support. Until next time, take gentle, meaningful care of yourself.